Hello and welcome to Sense and Sense. Today I want to talk about paying off your overdraft. It's not something that is easy for people to do, and if you're an individual or you're running a business, it can be daunting. So I'm hoping that this video is going to help you and give you some ideas of how to tackle this big task. First and foremost, you need to have a really firm resolve to pay off your overdraft. There's a lot of discipline that's involved in it, and you literally have to tell yourself that this is what I'm going to do and actively implement some of the steps that we're going to give you to pay off your overdraft. Second of all, analyze your cash flow. You need to know how much money is coming in and how much money is going out. And if at all you have a surplus, because the only way you're going to pay it off is if you have a surplus. So once you've done that, you know what your surplus is. So let's take an example which takes us into a practical example of how to do this. Let's say you have an overdraft limit of 10,000 Rand and you have a monthly surplus of 1,000 Rand. In the first month, at the end of the first month, you need to imagine now that your limit is 9,000 Rand, and you have to manage your cash flow in such a way that you don't exceed the 9,000 Rand on the overdraft. By doing so, you're effectively paying it off and reducing your overdraft balance. What you also can do is, if you're not so disciplined, or if for whatever reason it is proving difficult to pay off the overdraft, what you can do is speak to your banker. There is a facility out there that is called a revolving credit facility. So it basically, as you pay it off, it allows you to take more or take the amount that you've paid off. But it gives you that flexibility of not having it on tap, if I can call it that. So what you would do is get your revolving facility approved, and let's, for this example, take that you've got a limit of 10,000 Rand on that facility as well. So what you would do is you would take the 10,000 Rand, pay off the overdraft, and make the monthly repayments to the revolving facility. In that way, you've paid off your overdraft and you're making monthly repayments on the credit facility. What also happens is, after a certain period and you've paid off a certain percentage, it depends on the banks, you can then also access more funding from that facility within the limit that the bank has given you. But what's good about that is that you have access to credit that is not so readily available, and it's easier to manage. So that would be one of the ways in which, couple of ways in which you could pay off your overdraft. And the third way is, if, for example, you don't get a revolving credit facility, you are imagining now that you are paying off your overdraft. Remember, we talked about the first month paying off the 1,000 Rand, and imagining you had a limit of 9,000 Rand. What, as a worst case resort, what you could do is call the bank, or even on online banking, there are certain platforms that allow you to do that. Physically reduce your overdraft limit. So if you had a limit of 10,000 Rand and you are now wanting to pay it off, but you're finding it so difficult to stick to that, go onto the online platform or call the banker and say, please reduce my overdraft limit to 9,000 Rand. So that sort of already puts you in a position where you're forced to reduce your overdraft limit, which also helps you keep within your goal of paying off your overdraft limit, of paying off your overdraft balance. So I hope this has helped you, and if there are any other ways that you have actually paid off your overdraft, we would love to hear about that. So please put them down in the comments. In the coming weeks, we are going to also be talking about saving in pockets for different things that you possibly might need to pay during the week. the month or the year. And if you have any other topics that you would like us to cover, please put them down in the comments. We would love to cover them. See you in the next one.